Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Hare.
This is a shloka today. Tata Shutrita Parishanto
Tata
Tata
Shudrat
Parishanto
Parishanto,
Nivrito Griham Eyuvan
Nivrito
Vrito Brahmevan
Krita Snano Chitaharaha
Krita Snano
Krishnano Chitaharaha,
Samvivesha Gata Klamaha
Samvivesha
Samvivesha
Gata Klama
Tata Shutrita Parishanto
Tata Shudrit
Parishanto
Parishanto,
Tata Shut Trita Parishanto
Tata
Tata
Shudrit Parishanto,
Parishanto
Tata Shut Trita Parishanto
Tata
Tata
Shudrit
Krita Parishanto
Nivrito
Parishanto,
Grihame Yuvan
Nivrato
Nivrito
Brahmina
Krita Snano Chitaharaha
Tasnano Chitaharaha
Samvivesha Gata Klamaha
Samvivesha
Samvivesha
Gata
Gata
Klama
Klama,
Tata Shut Trita Parishanto
Tata
Tata
Kshatrita Parishanto,
Parishanto
Vrito Grihame Yuvan
Nivrito
Nivrito
Brahmivan
Krita Snano Chitaharaha
Kritsnano
Kritasnano
Chitahara,
Chitaharaha
Samvivesha Gata Klamaha
Samvivesha
Samvivesha
Gata
Gata Klama
Klama,
Tata Shutrita Parishanto
Tata
Tata Kshatrida Parishanto
Parishanto,
Evrito Grihame Yivan
Nivrito
Nivrito
Brahmivan,
Krita
Brahmivan
Snano Chitaharaha
Kritsnano
Kritasnano
Chitahara,
Chitaharaha
Sambivesha Gata Klamaha
Samvivesha
Samvivesha
Gata
Gata
Klama,
Klamaha
Tataha, thereafter, Shut, by hunger, threat, thirst, Parishrantaha, being too fatigued, Nivritaha, having ceased, Griham Eyivan, came back to his home, Krita, taken, Snana, bath, Uchita Aharaha, exactly required foodstuffs, Samvivesha, took rest, Gata Klamaha, free from all fatigue. After this, the king, very much fatigued, hungry, and thirsty, returned to his royal palace. After returning, he took a bath and he had an appropriate dinner. Thus, he took rest and thus became freed from all restlessness.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki Jai. A materialistic person works throughout the whole week very, very hard. He is always asking, where is money? Where is money? Then at the end of the week, he wants to retire from these activities and go to some secluded place to rest. King Puranjana returned to his home because he was very much fatigued from hunting animals in the forest. In this way, his consciousness came to stop him from committing further sinful activities and make him return home. In Bhagavad Gita, materialistic persons are described as dushkritinaha, which indicates those who are always engaged in sinful activities. When a person comes to his senses and understands how he is engaging in sinful activities, he returns to his consciousness, which herein figuratively described as a palace. Generally, a materialistic person is infected by the material modes of passion and ignorance. The results of passion and ignorance are lust and greed. In the life of a materialist, activity means working in lust and greed. However, when he comes to his senses, he wants to retire. According to Vedic civilization, such retirement is positively recommended, and this portion of life is called Vanaprastha. Retirement is absolutely necessary for a materialistic who wants to become free from the activities of sinful life. King Puranjana's coming home, taking bath, and having an appropriate dinner indicate that a materialistic person must retire from sinful activities and become purified by accepting a spiritual master and hearing from him about the values of life. If one would do this, he would feel completely refreshed, just as one feels after taking a bath. After receiving initiation from a bona fide spiritual master, one must abandon all kinds of sinful activities, namely illicit sex, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. The word Uchita Aharaha used in this verse is important. Uchita means appropriate. One must eat appropriately and not take after food as hawks take after stew. For human being, there are eatables described in Bhagavad Gita 17.8 as Satvika Ahara or food in the mode of goodness. One should not indulge in eating food in the modes of passion and ignorance. This is called Uchita Aharaha or appropriate eating. One who is always eating meat or drinking liquor, which is eating and drinking in passion and ignorance, must give these things up so that his real consciousness may be awakened. In this way, one may become peaceful and refreshed. If one is restless or fatigued, one cannot understand the signs of God, as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.20. एवं प्रसन्न मनसो भगवत भक्ति योगतः भगवत तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्त संगस्य जायते. Unless one can become free from the influence of passion and ignorance, he cannot be pacified, and without being pacified, one cannot understand the signs of God. King Puranjana's returning home is indicative of man's returning to his original consciousness, known as Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is absolutely necessary for one who has committed a lot of sinful activities, especially killing animals or hunting in the forest. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisheshaya Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatarine Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Tata Kshatrita Parishranto
तथा क्षुत्रिटपरिशान्तो
Vrito Griham Eviyan
निवृतो गृहमेवान्
Chita Snano Chitaharaha
विजितार्थानोचिताहारः
Samvivesha Gata Klamaha.
संविवेशागतः क्लमः.
After this, the king, very much fatigued, hungry, and thirsty, returned to his royal palace. After returning, he took a bath and had an appropriate dinner. Then he took rest and thus became free from all restlessness. Hare Krishna. Audio is clear?
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Clear, Prabhuji.
Okay. So, what do we meditate? Some nice. Prabhupada gives such a long purport. Uchita aharaha. First thing is that many people feel this. I can eat anything and be still spiritual. So the first step in spiritual life, it is a taramade jiva hoti, control the tongue, is to eat only uchita ahara. Uchita. First is quality, then there is quantity. In the beginning, when somebody comes to spiritual life, we really don't bother about quantity. Eat, 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 eat. Rather, Prabhupada used to himself do that. And devotees used to come to, in the beginning, Prabhupada used to take fun, take little more, take little more. He used to be, because same thing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, when he used to serve in a plate food for 10 people. And that's actually the nature of affection. Even a mother, how fat the child will be, eat more, eat more. And I say, "Hota hai." That's the nature of material affection. I show the affection, take more, take more. That signifies. So Prabhupada was not making it. He actually had affection for his devotees. Same way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was naturally had affection for his devotees. He used to make him sit because he was not serving less. He used to serve this much. Take. But first is in the quantity, we don't bother much in the quality. We don't bother with the quantity in the beginning. We bother more of the quality. That is uchita ara. Uchita. Eat only certain items. Don't eat onion garlic, don't eat non-veg, don't take liquor. These kind of eatables are reduced. And just by having, the Bhagavad Gita says, if somebody has sattvika ahara, you are what you eat. The famous statement by some Western philosophers, so true. But Gita already says it. It said you eat a sattvic ahara, you will become pleasant, sattvic. You eat a rasic ahara, that will affect you into rajoguna. You eat tamsic ahara, that will affect you into tamoguna. But many people find it difficult to understand this fact that food has something to do with the spiritual life. They say, what has food got to do with it? And they eat meat, they drink, and they think that some nonsense meditation they do, and they think that is something spiritual. Isn't it so? They don't, they may be, I went to one person, I was talking to him, and they may be vegetarian, but really they don't feel that's really important for spiritual life. They don't feel that. Somehow this is, but uchita ahara is very important. And that's the first thing. Even in initiation, if they come to know he's still not strict about food, but everything gets over. We're very, very careful. So food is important. Okay. But again, when you are preaching Krishna consciousness, even food is not the first thing. First thing is person should chant. I've seen many times, particularly parents, so many parents are here. The children's follow, don't follow. That's quite common. They're over fussy about child having not having onion garlic. They're over for SEVA. They're not really that he should at least chant one round. That is not their first priority. He should not have onion garlic. Okay, in one sense. But even more important that food will be first. How many people are living in the hostels and hostel when you're having food, they really cannot have food without onion garlic, except few places where the government, the colleges have one, what they call Jain mess or something like that. But you cannot do it. So what are you going to do? Just keep it aside, eat what you can do. So we have seen people can become very nice devotees even though they may have a bit of contaminated, because the primary principle of Krishna consciousness is chanting. First thing is Shravana. And the choice between to first chant. So anyway, but ahara is important in spiritual life. We are not saying it's not important, but even more important than that will is Shravana. The first thing is Shravana. Now you just think about it. Suppose you want good consciousness, what you will do? You will nicely chant. Those who are struggling to have good consciousness, not about those who don't bother. Uh, Spiritual life means struggling to advance consciousness. That is spiritual life. है ना? Spiritual life मतलब struggle कर रहा है वो to advance consciousness. That is spiritual life. If somebody is not struggling, then he is not practicing spiritual life. And the chances, because there is constant attack of Maya, he is taking it too relaxed, so I become Paramamsa, nothing will happen. He'll be crushed. So the food, Uchita Ahara, is important. We are not saying it's not important, but before that comes Shavada first. You want a good consciousness, and those who are struggling, when we are not feeling really well, what do? You want to seclude somewhere where I can just sit and chant. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Sit down. I can just chant somewhere for hours and hours. Feel better. Correct? Similarly, I can just sit down and read Prabhupada books for some time. I feel better. So we have to develop some kind of a dependence on Shavada. Correct? Someday you're not chanted nicely in the morning, whole day, kya din raj, all kachara. Because once morning you're not properly chanted, the whole day becomes this. So you're developing a kind of a dependence. Right? I was just today hearing about Banu Maharaj, one of our leaders of South India, and he's constantly traveling around the world. I said, I had called him to visit us. Where are you, Maharaj? I'm in Japan now. When I come back, you try to contact me. Then we missed him. The next I call, where are you? Maharaj, where are you? I'm in Australia. And then yesterday I called, I was inviting him, his team. No, he is in Europe now. And his age is almost Guru Maharaj, is quite elderly. He's maintaining very good health. So I just asked his secretary, what makes him, maintain such a good health and so energetic at this age? He said, sharp 9, he sleeps every day. Sharp 9 is on the bed, tuck, every day. And sharp 4, he starts chanting. He said he has maintained that for 50 years. Tuck, discipline. Anna? In fact, we had many devotees. I sent some devotees to do service with them. He doesn't speak one word. He's so busy in his activity. His main service he's doing is translating all the books to Japanese and to English. He's busy in that. So many books. And 1 second he does not waste. What is the run rate? 1 second. Isn't it an idea? In fact, we write mails to him. Answer is in 1 word or 2 words. People go to talk to him. So many devotees. They went to him, Maharaj, can this be done? If I was, I don't know whether those who are in Chennai can go sometimes meet him. His office and residence is same, one small room. And so many times devotees told, in the building that they have one building in which they have ashram also can. So they went and requested Maharaj, uh, one more room you can use it as the office. Uh, Admins take care. So one more room you can use at office. No, this is enough. And he said, we want to talk. Patient doesn't talk more than 30 seconds or 1 minute. Your devotees are very amused when they get a reply from him more than one word. You write to him, Maharaj, would you like to come? We have some, our temple. Outstation now, that's it. Minimum word. So, isn't it? Controlling. Yesterday we were talking about control. As such an inspiration for me when I can follow this example. Avyartha kalatram, we hear, mark of an advanced devotee, doesn't waste 1 second. He has translated, I think, already more than 100 books, does not wasting 1 second. Totally detached, happy. Whenever I have an opportunity to meet him, he feels so happy. He's so happy. Person is actually so content and so happy. Okay, so in the same way, what we have in the Bhagavad Gita also given that, no, sorry, Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami gives 11 sutras for our spiritual advancement. And what is the first thing he said? Ati aharaha. Ati ahara will destroy the spiritual life. Ati. Ati means more. The Prabhupada writes that eating more than what I need will destroy my spiritual life. Now, something in the beginning we talk only about quality. The next level, when people become fixed up in spiritual life, then is quantity. Okay? Otherwise, we'll sleep more. Eat more means sleep more. Yeah, so, content. Ati aharaha. And ati ahara also, suppose you want to eat more than necessary, then you have to work hard to bring that money. You need more for your maintenance. Ati ahara means also collecting more than we need. Just like we recommend a Brahminical life for anybody. Okay? That is a particular kind of expense you can make it. Say, depending on the city, I need a house, I need some basic thing. But suppose somebody wants more than that, he has to work very hard. Like in a company, people join for promotion and they really want to impress the boss. They don't leave the office. Suppose the office is 9 to 5, they don't leave at 5. They want to impress the boss. They sit till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Boss is very happy. So or sometimes they do extra work, they do something they do extra, some other job or some tuition, something. So they want more money. So ati ahara will lead to prayasa. A normal man will work 8 hours, whatever 8 hours you get, be peaceful and satisfied. Take care, whatever, because it's not sustainable also working more than 8 hours. 8 hours you work, 8 hours you do sadhana, and 8 hours you do sleep. 8 plus 8 plus 8. So everybody should introspect within himself. Am I able to offer to Srila Prabhupada 8 plus 8 plus 8? Ideal. That will be sustaining whole life and you feel happy and energetic. Okay. Sometimes emergencies are there, exams are there, or some project deadlines are there. That's okay. But overall, there's a pattern where somebody can be peaceful and happy and sustain. Today, the biggest problem is people are burnt out, they say. So many of my classmates, they say, I don't know why to work now. I made enough money. I don't know why I should work. So, ati aharaha has two meaning. What is that? Eating more than necessary and collecting fund more than. That is detrimental to spiritual life. Okay. So we should try not to do ati aharaha. Ati ahara. Then second thing is prayasa. Prayasa means developing an anxiety and working more than what I need. Like this society proper says is Ugra Karma civilization. What kind of civilization? Ugra Karma. Ugra Karma means so much anxiety. You meet many people at 11th and 12th class, the parents also develop a lot of anxiety. And we see that the children generally in the level of anxiety, they give up their own spiritual practices. This is generally true for Grihastha. The children may see that. They give it up. Even though when they are youngsters, they will be chanting 16 rounds, 20 rounds. Just because they cannot handle such a competition and such an anxiety. Ugra Karma. The civilization is Ugra Karma civilization. Atyahara prayasasa. So the prayasa over endeavor. So atihara leads to prayasa. ठीक है, correct? Because आपको funds ज़्यादा चाहिए जितना is needed for you, you have to overwork. What you need, Krishna is giving you by your 8 hours work. Krishna will always maintain he's maintaining animals, but he'll not maintain you. Ati ahara, but ati ahara will lead to prayasa. Prayasa means you will not be satisfied by normal work, you will work more. Prayasa means working more than 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours, 16 hours. Correct? Just like for devotees now, we finish the sadhana by 9. I've seen devotees who do too much. They contribute a lot. They start at 10, they get up at 6. Till that they are working. At 6 o'clock, no afternoon sleeping. Afternoon sleeping is not considered good at all in spiritual life. In fact, all the sannyasis used to visit used to always speak against it. My experience. In fact, I met an Ayurvedic doctor also in Mangalore. They say it is horrible afternoon sleeping in Ayurveda. Very, very bad for health. Not bad, very, very bad for health. So, and that is one of the reasons we become boom. आराम नहीं हराम और हराम दिखता है तो अति आहारा will lead to प्रयासा लॉजिकल ठीक है वाई लोअर एंड बिकॉज आपको जरूरत से ज्यादा चाहिए खाना भी और वो भी चाहिए वो वाला मोबाइल चाहिए वो वाला कार चाहिए तो प्रयास करना पड़ेगा फिर आपको शांति तो गया आपका प्रयास करो ओवर एंड and prayasa will lead to prajalpa. Prayasa will lead to prajalpa because you are now developed over anxiety for material things. Therefore, your mind will be disturbed. Your sadhana is gone for a 6. Okay? Your shravanam has gone for a 6. And now prajalpa. Your mind is disturbed. Kappa, kappa, kappa. Jalpa means to talk. Prajalpa means to talk too much. Kappa. And that you will make enemies. You know, one word here and there, people will remove you from all the groups. Recently, it happened. People get angry. You have to be very careful. Don't speak much. Speak less. There was once we were making some agreement or something we were writing. So I asked a lawyer, so I should write in detail. No, sir, write minimum because later we can twist it any way we want. If you write too much, it's quite fixed what you're wanting. So speaking less is good in so many ways. I didn't mean, oh, take it. But too much you speak, then you are trapped. So always it is good to speak less. Vacho Vegam is the first principle in spiritual life. Speak less. See, if you are very strict to speak to somebody who is actually submissive to you, you will actually become silent. Because why you want to share your realization to somebody who doesn't want to hear, correct? And in this world, nobody actually wants to hear. So you'll become very, very silent, like Jada Bharata. And when opportunity comes, Jada Bharata spoke. And not only he spoke, the Bhagavatam recorded it. Who recorded? Bhagavatam recorded. Not one chapter, so many chapters. Forest of Enjoyment is a very famous chapter among that. The talks by Jadabharata to Rahuguna, further talks by Jadabharata to Rahuguna, the Forest of Enjoyment. 3-4 chapters of Bhagavatam daily when Jadabharata opened his mouth. So don't open your mouth unless somebody wants to actually hear you. So automatically no prajalpa will happen. Hai Kappa, 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 kappa. And what the person says, hey, yaar, he ate my head. As he bolte na. Other person is also not happy. So why you are wasting your words? And actually, person loses respect when he speaks too much. कोई उसका इज्जत नहीं करता, है ना? Speak means just like Srila Prabhupada, the astrologer told, hukum chalega. Whatever he speaks, people will follow. And that's what happened. See, it used to be so much, if Prabhupada speaks one word, that also used to be recorded. Devotees used to send a message. Srila Prabhupada, we distributed 20,000 Bhagavad Gitas and all this thing, and send a message. And Prabhupada will be in his room, the words of Prabhupada said like that, the message they have sent. Very nice. Krishna will be very pleased. One word he will write. Devotees will be so ecstatic to hear one word. The words become valuable, no? The words of an acharya become shastra. What is shastra? Shastra means words of realized. So Prajalpa can be stopped in so many ways. Why speak? Uh, Pada, 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 pada. Atyahara prayasa prajalpa niyama agraha. Niyama agraha. Now atyahara leads to, I'm just connecting all the six. Atyahara leads to prayasa. Yes. Because of prayasa, your spiritual life is totally gone. You have no control over yourself. A person having no strong spiritual life will have prajalpa. Keep speaking like an idiot. Atyara will lead to prayasa. Prayasa will lead to prajalpa. Prajalpa will lead to niyama, agraha, talking unnecessarily, talking so many unwanted things will disturb the whole mind. And now comes the situation of niyama agraha, where person becomes slack. See, he's eating more than necessary, which will also make him slack. Prayasa, he's not having enough time for spiritual life. Correct? Prajalpa is blab. One of the symptoms is whole day blabbering. And the fourth symptom, very dangerous, Nema agraha. He will start breaking the regulative principles. Started from atihara. उधर control नहीं है तो सब तोड़ छूटने वाला है. And Nema agraha happens then Janasanga. Why is he going to Janasanga? Now he's totally in material platform. Devotee means, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, he feels suffocated. How suffocated? In association of the karmis. In fact, those who joined ISKCON full time, they joined for this reason. They were suffocated in association of the karmis. I think may not be later, at least at that moment, Krishna lifts our consciousness because he wants us to dedicate life. He gives special mercy. We can't stand the association of karmis. Just cannot stand it. So that is Jana Sangha should not be there. But if I myself fallen down, there's no difference between me and a karmi. That's what happened many times when devotees leave the association and this work independently. Then the karmi they start liking. He's very nice. He's very nice. They start appreciating karmis then after that. Because totally they have fallen down. Now karmis look very wonderful. In fact, one of the symptoms of spiritual fall down is this. He is not able to discriminate between spiritual activity and material activity and nicely associate with the karma. Oh, how are you? Sab barabar hai uske liye. Janasanga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so much warned against asatsanga tyaga. That is the first symptom of a Kanishta Vaishnava, asatsanga tyaga. Somebody gives up association of karma, he is the beginning of spiritual life. So nicely connecting. Atyahara leads to prayasa. Prayasa leads to prajalpa. Prajalpa leads to niyamagraha. Niyamagraha leads to janasanga. Because you have fallen down, then what is janasanga for you? Normal. Associating a devotee, associating with the karmi, both. He is lost in discrimination. And then laulyam. And what will happen if you associate with karmis? Laulyam. Karmis, I want Mercedes. I want Audi. I want this. I want that. Laulyam. Because that's what karmis will give you. Greedy for mundane achievements. Shri Radha Govinda ki. So imagine how horrible it is. And where it started? Atyahara. Therefore, it is said, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Tara Made Jiva Hoti, Lovo Maya Sudurmati, Take Jeta Kathina Samsare. Krishna Bada Doyama, Tare Made Jiva Hoti. Among all the senses, this tongue is most dangerous. Because you see, the whole fall down happened because of tongue. Tare Made Jiva Hoti, Lovo Maya Sudurmati, Take Jeta Kathina Samsare. Very difficult to control the tongue. In fact, one of the general symptoms of a depressed man is he's very fat. And why? Because eating, sweets and all that some kind of pleasure it gives him. At least instead of drinking and drugs, that's better for him. Many psychiatrists, when I've experienced it previously, I talked to them that do you teach your patients to give up the breaking the four regulative principles. He says, no, that's their only shelter. Huh? What is it going to वो depressed है तो पीनो दो ना दारू उसी से तो थोड़ा उसको शांति मिलेगी. They do not know. So these principles have to be followed. Atyara prayasas prajalpa niyamagra janasangas lolota shadvi bhakti pranashati. Bhakti will be destroyed. Just you are eating, you're supposed to eat two chapatis, you eat 1/3 chapati, feel start. Atyara prayasa prajalpa niyamagra janasanga lolya. See, it cannot be that I am strict somewhere, I am loose somewhere, and I am strict somewhere. Somebody who is not controlled in his eating will not be controlled in anything in spiritual. So suppose you think, बहुत वैरागी है ये, okay? I see you are a great vairagi. And I come and I say, you're eating. I know he's not a vairagi, he's a bhogi. वहीं दिख जाता है. अति आहारी means भोगी है ना. वो स्पिरिचुअल लाइफ में आनंद करने आया है, वो भगवान का सेवा करने नहीं आया. उसको आनंद चाहिए, उसके लिए उसका कोई कंट्रोल नहीं हो, कहीं भी कंट्रोल नहीं है उसके पास. Correct? Just like naturopathy, what they do is that they don't give you anything for few days, only water they make you drink. So your body, because what happens, we have developed some psychological madness, and we eat at maybe 6 times, 8 times, most of the people. So then what happens, the body brings acid at a particular time for digestion. But एसिड निकलता है, टाइम पे खाना देना पड़ता है, नहीं तो पेट जलने लगता है. भूख लग रही मतलब एसिड आ गया फिर. तो वो क्या करते हैं, पहले इसको एलिमिनेट करने के लिए 1 हफ्ता खाली पानी पिलाते रहते हैं. Many people go to lose weight in naturopathy. पानी पिलाते हैं तो क्या होता है, पूरा बॉडी बिल्कुल शांत हो जाती, तंग नहीं करती, एसिड कुछ नहीं आता, शांत हो जाता. फिर उसके बाद खाना देते हैं. और जैसे हम लोगों को इतना खाने की आदत है ना, इतना थोड़ा सा खाना रखते हैं. बोला हाँ, बोला इतना काफी है एक्चुअली. This is known. If you eat 1 grain more than I need, somebody else किसी और का खाना गया ना, किसी और का खाना गया ना, because God has given everything enough for the need, not for greed. So atihara shows greed in the first principle, laulyam. The greed has started. Okay, so anyway, this is important principle of spiritual life as we advance. In the beginning, we want him to come to spiritual life, but later as he wants to advance, ati ahara is a very important principle. And Prabhupada says here, he uses the word, what do they use for food? Uchita ahara. Because see, in the beginning stage it is uchita ahara, and later it is ati ahara. Beginning, eat only quality food. But later, ati ahara. Another point Srila Prabhupada mentioned, the purport is that unless person is pacified, use the word pacified, he cannot come to Krishna consciousness. And then he uses the shloka, quoting from another portion of Bhagavatam, first canto, Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavad tattva vijnanam mukta sangasa jayate. So it's very important we keep our mind happy and satisfied. Why our mind is not satisfied? Because we think Krishna is not in control. The devotees, all the situation, mind is very calm and satisfied. The intense example of that is Prahlad Maharaj. Such a difficult position. Mind was very peaceful and satisfied. Such a difficult position. Bali Maharaj, he lost everything. Still his mind is very peaceful and satisfied. Not for one moment the mind is dissatisfied, peaceful. हम तो भाई ऐसा नहीं है, बलि महाराज जैसा नहीं हुआ कुछ हमारे साथ भाई. Everything was there. Suddenly I am the street standing. So we have to keep ourselves always aware that Krishna is in control and keep the mind happy and satisfied. But generally for a normal level people, Prabhupada is saying in the purport, follow the 4 regulative principles that I have given. Then the mind will be peaceful and satisfied. It's very important to advance the spiritual life. that mind is peaceful and satisfied. Evam prasanna manaso. And how can the mind be peaceful and satisfied? When it comes to Sattva-guna, free from Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Because real spiritual life starts from Sattva-guna. In Sattva-guna, we can offer nice prayers to the Lord. In Sattva-guna, we can encourage people in serving Krishna. Correct? With Rajoguna, Tamoguna, we are a little disturbed. And there is no spiritual life. Okay, we are practicing, but there is no progress. All of us start spiritual life with a nice mix of Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Okay? So coming to Sattva-guna is extreme, very happy, peaceful, satisfied. That is needed. Evam prasanna manas. Then actually we can see one thing is knowing the theory of Krishna consciousness and practicing. In Rajoguna, that's all we can do. In Sattva-guna, actually is happy. Is very happy, peaceful. Is actually, and then people are not going to see a change in somebody. Suppose somebody is practicing spiritual life. Okay? And people will, what you see? Nowadays it doesn't get angry. Everybody gets angry in this world. It's quite peaceful. That means the process of Krishna consciousness is working now. है ना? लोगों को आपका भक्ति नहीं दिखता है. लोगों को खाली गुण दिखते हैं ना. लोग देव सात्विक हो गया, बड़ा शांत हो गया. Very nice. So people become encouraged. Even we come to the stage of Nishtha, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajan Kriya, Anartha Nivritti. Anartha Nivritti means coming out of Rajoguna, Tamoguna, Nishtha. Then he sees there is a result of the process. The process has actually acted. And when Nishtha starts, then after that, Ruchi starts. Now then he practices spiritual life. Like now what happens? Something else starts happening. He practices spiritual life with great pleasure. There is natural happiness within the heart, which cannot be artificially brought. The happiness of Krishna consciousness is natural, not artificially. The people say, keep smiling at it. This is artificial. Okay, nothing bad about it, but it is artificial. No? But here, Krishna consciousness actually brings real happiness from within the heart. And to want to have real happiness of Krishna consciousness, we should be in Sattva-guna. And then when you're off chanting the rounds, you're reading Srila Prabhupada books, when you're doing service in association of devotees, that everything is very pleasing and happy. Anna? But if you don't control your senses, where there is Sattva-guna? There's only Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Anna? That's what Prabhupada is saying. The whole society is eating non-veg food. So all Rasic, Tamasic. So what will be the condition then? Where evam prasanna manosa? So I have understood God. How you understood God? Therefore many people say conversion हो गया, ये हो गया. क्या हो गया? मीट खा रहा है, दारू पी रहा है, क्या कर लिया उसने? है ना? All waste. Not even talk about it. Waste. पहले भी वही कर रहा था, बाद में ठप्पा पहले ये लगाया, तब ठप्पा दूसरा लगा दिया. We should be interested in actual work. You see, our sampradaya, 500 years, we have been focused on actual work to give Krishna consciousness to the society. वो आसान नहीं. दारू पी के मीट खा के you want to give somebody कि क्या तुम्हारे पास ही नहीं भगवान है, क्या दोगे क्या किसी को? खाली ड्रामा कर रहे हो, है ना? आजकल people are very bored. It's not real work happening at all. We have to be focused on real work of giving to people Krishna consciousness. That's our business. And for that, we break all the boundaries of so-called religion, caste, creed, everything. Prabhupada did that or not? Was Prabhupada focused on this kind of a platform? No. He was focused on the platform of actually giving Krishna conscious society. And Prabhupada did say, in India, these people are actually our own men. They were previously practicing Vedic culture. They can be easily brought back. But then we are not strong to do that work. In the most difficult he did. Catching hippies who are the more practically on the level of animals, and he brought them to Krishna consciousness, showing ये तो हो सकता है ना, तो ये तो छोटा काम है. Correct? उनका क्या religion था? कोई भी हिंदू नहीं था, Christian थे, Muslim थे, correct? But Srila Prabhupada, by his power of preaching, brought them to the happy stage of Krishna consciousness. तो हमको क्या मुश्किल? क्योंकि we are not strong. है ना? The real work, purity is the force. Nothing else is needed there. There was one devotee wrote to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, what to do? We are only 3 devotees in the temple. Prabhupada said, number is not important. Consciousness is important. Prabhupada alone, no. Number is not important. Hello, achieve, है ना? So we sometimes do not struggle to elevate our consciousness. And then, evam prasanna manaso we lose. And once we lose evam prasanna manaso, then spiritual life is gone. Okay, everything. Then we cannot understand Krishna. Then we come new kind of dynamic starter. So there are so many other things in the purport. We still have 5 more minutes I can take up. King very much fatigued, hungry. So this is very important in principle that we are disgusted of material enjoyment. Prabhupada says, unless one is very pessimistic about material life, he cannot advance his spiritual. क्या फायदा है? Somebody the movie चलेगा, क्या फायदा क्या उसका? क्या फायदा उसका? We should be pessimistic. उसमें आनंद नहीं हो सकता. नहीं आओ बहुत मजा आएगा यार. कुछ फायदा. So we should be pessimistic, है ना? माया का काम है. It's always present thing very attractive. कुछ फायदा नहीं, है ना? Just like I always give the example. Somebody says cigarette पी ले बहुत मजा. अच्छा अच्छा. बात भी नहीं कर इस चीज की. So we are pessimistic, है ना? लेकिन कुछ चीजों के लिए we are not pessimistic. नहीं नहीं. थोड़ा 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 चलेगा. थोड़ा थोड़ा. And then we get. Somebody had come to me and one devotee was telling he's traveling all around the world. It's a sad part is people are getting addicted to reels. It's kind of a drug addiction. It's a kind of a drug addiction. Hours and hours and hours. I remember when I used to go for construction, we used to go around. So afternoon time, the workers, they have a break and all will be on their back, their mobile, watching reels. So at least we have come to Prabhupada has given us some mercy. We should at least come out of that platform. Correct? उसमें कुछ नहीं. It's all drug addiction. The Rajoguna, Tamoguna, packaged very nicely, very attractive way. है ना? Reading was boring with all nice music, with nice jokes, and person is lost. Okay, so don't be addicted. So we should be very pessimistic. Somebody said, देखा वो अच्छा video है, बकवास. I'm not interested. और नरसिम्हा मूवी आया ठीक है वो देख. Otherwise, we should be pessimistic. क्या spiritual life कर रहे हैं? We are also, what is the difference? Then I thank you for waiting. Okay, some problem. Okay, so where we go? Okay, evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogatah. We were at this shloka. क्या बोल रहे थे हम लोग? Something else
Pessimistic.
developing.
Pessimistic about material activities.
Huh?
Pessimistic about material activities.
I was talking. So, when I used to watch the workers lying down doing that, then I used to say, what's the difference between him and me if I do the same activity? I may wear a tilak, I wear a dress. If my entertainment is same as him, what is the difference between me and him? Maybe labor ही है. थोड़ा पुण्य था तो थोड़ा पैसा है मेरे पास तो बेचारे का पैसा कम है. फर्क क्या है हम दोनों में? Consciousness is same, no? Correct? Proper says no. But car is running on 4 wheels, a dog is running on 4 legs. What is important is the consciousness, है ना? फर्क क्या है? वो भी भाग रहा है, मैं भी भाग रहा हूँ, लोग भी रोडों में भाग रहे हैं. काम तो वही है ना? वो भी he is running for the same business and you are running for the same business. आप दोनों में फर्क क्या है? खाली शरीर फर्क है, मन तो एक ही है ना? So we should be therefore try, struggle. Don't take spiritual life as a joke. Struggle. Struggle means don't make it a joke. No, don't waste time. And then you will come to Evam Prasanna. बंद करो भाई. अरे बंद कर दो सच्ची बंद. बटन बंद कर दो राइट साइड में बेवकूफ. हाँ. Evam prasanna manaso. Evam prasanna manaso means we have to become joyful in the mind. For that, you have to do hard work. Which is, some people, Sattvic people, they do hard work. But the hard work they're doing, which is not visible. Rasic people, they run for sense enjoyment. They take one step forward, 10 steps backward. Tamasic people just sleep. But Sattvic people, even for material endeavors, he thinks with a cool head and then he does. He just doesn't run like that. Rasic आदमी मतलब वो सब तोड़-फोड़ कर देता है, ठीक है? So Sattvic man means is gradually making improvement in his life with a cool head. So even for material life, Prabhupada used to say, even if you don't want Krishna, at least say Sattvic, it's good for you. है ना? Life खुश रहेगा. So evam prasanna manaso, this to need, we have to struggle. And Sattva there is a struggle to keep all unwanted items out. Atyahara, prayasa, prajalpan, janasanga, all that. These things, actually if you see, these things are material. Khana kam khana, jada khana. Prayasa, working for a job, less or more. Prajalpa, talking, है ना? Niyamagra, following rules. These are all material things, है ना? Atyahara, prayasa, prajala, janasanga, talking to unwanted people. Lolium. These are all material things. But because we are in a conditioned state of existence and we are not liberated, if you do not follow this, you will not be able to advance spiritually. ठीक है ना? ये चीजों को follow करने से we can easily advance spiritually. So these things are to be avoided. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Andava
Hare
pranam.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna,
Thank you,
everybody.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna,
Dhanwad.
Prabhuji. Sadhu Pranam.
Hare
Koti
Krishna,
Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Thank you,
Krishna,
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dhamma
Krishna
Pranam.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna.